Shabbat Shalom, friends and family. A quick read-through through the 23rd Psalm. The 23rd Psalm. Shabbat Shalom to all of you, friends and family, brothers and sisters, Achim ve'achayot, HaMishpacha HaGedolah, to the dispersed of Judah on the four corners of the earth. I wanted to make a video because I need some content really bad. I wanted to offer something that would be inspirational, that would be uplifting. Bear with me, if you would please. As you can see, I have not invented or come up with this wonderful studio, but I'm still in my commuter car. Anyway, I wanted to offer a little something for comfort in a time like this. Who couldn't use a little comfort? I'm in my corner of the pandemic slash quarantine lockdown part of the world here in Oakland, California, right outside my apartment. And I wanted to read you the 23rd Psalm and offer a few pieces of truth and insight to it. So let's go. The 23rd Psalm, Tehillim, Perek Kaf Gimel, 23, reads as follows: Mizmor le David, Yehovah ro'i lo ichsar, binot deshe yarbitzeni, על מי מנוחות ינחלני, נפשי ישובב, ינחני במעגלי צדק למען שמו, גם כי אלך בגיא צלמוות לא אירא רע, כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צוררי, דשנת ושמן ראשי, כוסי רויה. אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית יהוה לאורך ימים. So, Ro'i, Yehovah Ro'i, he is my shepherd. The Hebrew word for shepherd is Ro'e. Ro'i with the E ending is more possessive. He's my shepherd. It's more personal and it's intimate. Historically and culturally, we know what a shepherd does for his sheep. The shepherd is the protector of the sheep, the defender. The sheep depends on the shepherd for all of its needs. The shepherd moves the sheep around in safety and gives them a place to rest safely in the night in the presence of predators, and brings them safely home, feeds them, nurtures them, and loves them. The sheep know the voice of their shepherd, and they listen to no one else. Lo echsar, or lo ihsar, I will not lack, literally, from the Hebrew word chasar, meaning that there's nothing that I need that I will be short of, that I will lack. There's a difference, brothers and sisters, between wants and needs. The shepherd provides for us. He would withhold no good thing from us. Binaot deshe, in lush meadows, yarbitzeni, he lays me down. I want to draw a contrast between binaot deshe, between lush meadows, and beget salmawet, or in the valley of the shadow of death. Lush meadows, valley of the shadow of death. This is something, as a believer, that comes as a result of experience and of walking with the shepherd and fine-tuning your ear and learning to hear his voice and to be obedient. It gives us a certain amount of appreciation, so that whether we're in lush meadows, in good times, by those still and tranquil waters, or whether it's in the valley of the shadow of death, whether it's a mountaintop experience or whether we're in the valley, no matter what, we know that he sees, that he knows, that he hears, that he's there, that he loves us, and that we know that everything will work out together for our good if we'll just listen to him and trust him and tune into his voice. It's reciprocal. Obey him, obey his commandments, listen to his voice, he will, we give that love to him, and he brings it back around. We'll get to that toward the end. Again, al me menuhot yanahaleni. Me is waters, and menuhot or menuhot is literally calm or comforting. He leads me by uh, comforting waters. You ever had a hard time sleeping and, excuse me, and you play the sounds of a babbling brook or running water, and it kind of calms you down and helps you sleep a little bit? Um, the environment which he creates is that of shalom or shalem or mushlam. So it's perfection, this peace, this fullness of joy, fullness of peace in his presence. The word menuchot is used quite often. As a matter of fact, it shows up in a different form a little later in this same psalm when he says that your rod and your staff, yenahamuni, menuchot yenahamuni. You can hear that they're the same root. Also quoted from the book of Yeshayahu, Isaiah, Nahamu, Nahamu Ami, comfort you, my people. And how fitting is it that when Mashiach, Yeshua himself, showed up, that the one town or the one village that he did the bulk of his ministry from, not Capernaum, that's an English corruption of it, but it's two words, Kfar, which is village, Kfar, and Nahum. Kfar Nahum, the village of comfort, the village of comfort, the village of Nahum, the village of comfort. Food for thought. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yes, but a little bit more detail you can find in the Hebrew. He says, Yaneheni, he guides me or leads me, bema'agle tzedek. Ma'agle is the word I want you to focus on, the word translated as path, because it comes from the root word agol, which means round, and that ma'agal means a circle. So yes, it's a path, but it's a cyclical path. Now, what in the Torah associated with righteousness and obedience is cyclical? If you guessed the Chogim or the Chagim or the Moedim, the fall feasts, the feast and the appointed times, then you would be absolutely right. They start in the spring and they make their way around full circle and meet their climax in the fall with Yom HaTruah, the Day of Trumpets, and of course Sukkot before we roll back around. So path is actually the cycle of righteousness. And in the Brit HaChadashah, one of the writers makes mention that the Most High loves those who work righteousness, and not iniquity. Okay? These paths of righteousness, he leads us in this cycle of righteousness for the sake of his name. Why? His name is more than what he's called. Yud He Vav He, Yehovah. Yahuwah, it's much more than this. It is his reputation. It is his authority. There is a lot of errant information out there with respect to what constitutes biblical blasphemy. Some people believe that it's taking the name of the Most High and matching it up with a word and swearing. No, it's more than this. It is the sin of trying to intermingle that which is chol or profane with that which is sacred. They don't mix like oil and water. Case in point, the writer of the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, around the 24th verse, this is a paraphrase. Those who have, once they have come into the knowledge of the truth, if they go back to their old ways and go into sin, there's no longer a sacrifice for sin for them. Why? Because it's much more than the blood of bulls and of goats. But the blood that was shed as a propitiation for the sins of all mankind, namely for Yehuda, for Israel, this is the blood of none other than Ben HaElohim, the unique Son of the Most High, Yeshua. And if you trample that blood underfoot, then woe to you. So in other words, as ambassadors, as the seed of promise, now that we're making ourselves known to the world and the world is starting to figure out who it is that we are, if we proclaim to the world, okay, and if we shout out basically to the mountaintop that we're the children of the Most High, and that we represent Him, and that we love Him, and that He's ours and we're His, but we live out loud also sinfully in the eyes of the world, then we are dirtying His name and we are constituting biblical blasphemy. This is, in a nutshell, what it is. But I want to keep on going. גם כי אלך בגד צלמוות לא אירא רע כי אתה עמדי. If I walk in the valley of death's shadow, I will not be afraid. Why? Because ata imadi, you are with me. El Shaddai, the one who has all, the one that provides and sustains us. So there's no need to fear. There's not a predator big enough out there that can deal with the shepherd. Shivtecha umishantecha, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Shivtecha, your rod, is for discipline. He only chastens sons whom He loves. It's for discipline. But mishantecha, your staff, is for comfort. It's for security. Picture a mother in a mall who turns her head for a second and she loses track of her child or her toddler. And in a panic, the child is running and screaming, okay, and looking for the mom. Imagine as a sheep, the same thing. You look around and nothing is familiar anymore, or you've strayed a little too far. You've gone towards some things that you know better than. And just when you think or thought that He had left you, you see His staff. His staff, it's a comfort. It's a comfort. What is the Paleo-Hebrew equivalent for a staff? It's the letter lamed, from the word lamad, which means to teach, to shepherd. Okay. Also, he says they comfort him. Hima yanahamuni. Ta'aroch lefanai shulhan neged sorera. You prepare a table for me in the presence of those who would do me harm. Meaning that you can be right in the middle of the fire with hell breaking loose around you. But as long as you're with the shepherd, it does not matter. It does not matter. All is well. Finally, dishanta, you anoint vashemen roshi, with oil my head. Kosi rewaya. Kosi, my cup, rewaya. It overflows. I'm in need of nothing. Finally, ach tov, surely or certainly, tov wa hesed, goodness and charity, or goodness and loving kindness. Yirdifuni kol yemei hayai v'shavti bevet Yehovah. Friends, is it possible to be pursued or persecuted by goodness and kindness? Well, that's what the psalmist says. He uses the word, he says, ach tov wa hesed, surely goodness and kindness, love, charity will follow me. Yirdifuni will follow me. It comes from the Hebrew word, the root word radaf, which means to doggedly pursue. Not just pursue or follow, but to doggedly. It also is the same word for persecute. In the Brit Chadashah, when the risen and exalted Yeshua meets Shaul on the road to Damascus, he says to him, why do you persecute me? Or Yeshua in Matthew chapter 5 says to his Talmidim, to his students, Simchu v'gilu, rejoice and be full of joy, he says, because so were the prophets who were before you persecuted. Okay? Radfu. He uses the same word, radfu. And then finally, tov wa hesed, goodness and loving kindness, or goodness and charity. Hesed is a very unique Hebrew word. It usually goes hand in hand with another word, emet, hesed ve'emet. Think about in Genesis chapter 47, verse 29, when the dying Yaakov makes his son Yosef place his hand under his thigh and make a vow to him that he wouldn't bury his bones or leave his bones in Egypt. He tells his son to do this tov v'hesed, do this goodness and this love for me. Chesed is a kind of a love, but it's reciprocal. It's a relational, covenantal love, but it's expected to be reciprocated. I show you this love, in return, you give it back. This is a pure love that comes only from the heart of the Most High. And because we are created in His image, we can display it when we're, let's just say, our best selves in the Mashiach. Um, 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 there are other references, but they're too lengthy, and yeah, it's a deep ride. I'll try to cover the other side of Chesed in another video in the near future. Um, so, at any rate, um, that goodness and mercy, that it will doggedly pursue you, that goodness and loving kindness will persecute you. If I had anything chasing me down or persecuting me, I would take Tov Wahesed, the goodness and the mercy. Okay, everybody. Shabbat Shalom again from the West Coast. Um, L'kol ha'achim v'achayot, my brothers and my sisters, to those who are spread to the four corners, shake off the dust. The time is coming, and Sheyada kol ha'olam, that the world will know and know soon that His promises are true, and the bones are coming back to life. Shabbat Shalom, peace and love to you all.